Three B's, talking real bad like big B's. Big quotation boss, yes, all me. Bring back Betty, main chess piece. Now pull out, 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 pull out, now pull out, now pull out. Part 1. Sorry, but not sorry. Quick backstory before I get into the meat and potatoes. Make sure you keep all of this in mind. So Faye decided that her and her husband were going to go ahead and try surrogacy because she couldn't get pregnant after 4.5 years. They did decide that they were just going to go ahead and ask a close friend because to go through an agency, it was going to cost way too much money and they just didn't have it. So Faye decided that she was just going to ask her friend Kiki, aka Kiwi, to see if she would do it for her. And Kiwi agreed. So Faye did let Kiwi know that she did not want it to be the seed of her husband, but wanted to be a seed of another man. Now Kiwi just was confused, but she agreed because she just wanted to make her friend happy and a mother. So they had been friends now for about 3 years, and Faye's and Kiwi's relationship was quite strange. Kiwi never met Faye's adopted kids or Faye's husband. Weird, right? Right. Now, Kiwi did find this kind of strange, but she never questioned Faye about it because she just felt Faye was trying to keep her privacy. So during the surrogacy journey, Faye had some weird and strange requests for Kiwi, and Kiwi was just not down for it. Faye wanted Kiwi to sleep with the other man in order to get pregnant, and Kiwi's just like, why can't we do the turkey baster method? I don't know this man. Faye then screamed, if you don't do it my way, I am not paying you. This made Kiwi back out of the deal and the friendship because over the course of the surrogacy journey, Faye had become different and her true colors were showing. That friendship ended and Kiwi never looked back. Now to the present time. Kiwi found herself in a nice place in her life. She was comfortable with her living situation, place of work, and her love life. She started dating this tall 6'5" chocolate dude named Tone for about 1.5 years now. They actually crossed paths at a mutual friend's house party. Ever since then, they've been inseparable. On 2/14, Tone took Kiwi out for a nice romantic dinner and then showered her with presents after. And that night, Tone proposed to Kiwi with the 14-karat white gold halo engagement ring right underneath the sunset. You know what our girl said. Yes, with no hesitation. Everything was going great. Our girl was floating on cloud 9. Speed it up just a little bit. Kiwi and her maid of honor needed to get their hair slayed so that they can go to the rehearsal wedding dinner. But Kiwi's stylist flight had been delayed. So she calls her sister Monet to see if her stylist could fit her in. Monet was able to get one open slot with the stylist, but within that time, Kiwi's stylist had called back and said that she was able to get another flight, but she would only have enough time to do one head and not two. So Kiwi goes to the original stylist and sends her maid of honor to Monet's stylist. The spot was located off 113th in Harvard. Beauty by Faye. The maid of honor rushes there and she thanks Faye for squeezing her in last minute. Like all women in beauty shop, she starts to gossip. She lets her know that it's for a rehearsal wedding dinner and just explains how important it is. As a nosy hairstylist, Faye says, oh, well, who's getting married and when is it? So excitedly, she says, oh, it's my best friend Kiki, aka Kiwi, and she's getting married this Saturday at Luca Grand Ballroom. Faye's face goes flush. She thinks to herself, that's so expensive and big. She should just go say hi and apologize. Babe, the breaker tripped again. Part 2, y'all. Sorry, not sorry. Part 2. So Faye had got info about her old friend / surrogate's wedding, so she just decided she was going to invite herself. So Faye had finished up on the bridesmaid hair and then closed up shop. Faye knew that she had treated Kiwi wrong and she just misses her so dearly. So Faye had went ahead and went home. She ran her a bubble bath, and as she was sitting in the bubble bath, she was just feeling so lonely. Faye tries calling and texting her now ex-husband because she misses what they had. She had texted her ex-husband to let him know that their youngest child that they had adopted together wasn't feeling too well. But that was a lie. Faye was just trying to get him to come over. So an hour later, Faye gets a call from her ex-husband, and he said that he had prior engagements and he was just now able to answer her call. He did state that he would stop by and check up on the baby as soon as he finished up what he was doing. Faye hung up the phone, jumped up, lit some candles, and slid into something sexy. Faye hasn't seen her ex-husband physically in almost 2 years. He would stop by the school to check up on the kids and mail a support check, but that was about it. Faye was going to take full advantage of her ex-husband coming over to the house. Around 9 p.m., he pulls in the driveway, he rings the doorbell, and waits for Faye to answer the door. Y'all, she answers the door with an all-black lace bodysuit on and a mesh satin robe with pleaser heels, eyeing him up and down. He rushes in the door and closes it behind him and says, "Faye, I don't have time to play with you. Where's my son? Is he even really sick?" Faye stood there with her 5'3" Coke bottle shape with one hand on her hip and says, "Let me take care of you. I missed us." Tempted by what was in front of him, he just wanted to swoop Faye up and give her what she was asking for. But he couldn't. And he would not. Knowing that, he slid past Faye and continued upstairs to his son's bedroom. Before he could make it all the way, Faye ran past him and stopped him. She said, "Don't wake him up. I was just able to get Malachi to fall asleep after all that fussing." She then grabbed his hand and guided him towards her bedroom. He knew exactly what Faye was trying to do, and he was not about to let that happen. Faye then pushed him on the bed and kissed his neck and asked him to stay just a little while longer. He threw her off of him and said, "Stop it. Stop it now, Faye. We really need to talk." Angered by his response, Faye just sat there and uttered no words. Then he continued, "We are done, Faye. We been done. This is why I don't come over here, because you always put me in bullshit like this. If it's not about the kids, don't call me, don't text me. I don't want you anymore. I'm done." He then gets up and walks out the bedroom, but Faye follows behind him. Faye then had cried out, "Babe, please, just give me one more chance. I've changed. I want us back." He says nothing, then continues to walk out that front door to his 22 Yukon, slams the door, and starts to pull off. Faye then screams and cries, "Tone, please." Part 3. And today's sin of the day is Paris Lights, limited edition, brought to you by Rainbow. I'm a baddie on the budget. Argue with your mama, not me. I'm smelling real bourgeois today. Part 3. So Tone went ahead and just left Faye in the middle of the driveway crying as he pulled off. Upset at the fact that Faye just made him leave his fiance at home to come over here to this bullshit, he was teed off. Tone auto-dials Vic, his homeboy since under rules, on the truck speaker. So Vic pick up, and before he can even say hello, Tone screaming in the phone, "Man, this chick's psycho. She won't stop. Man, I think she's trying to ruin this phone." So now Vic's trying to calm his homeboy down, trying to tell him like, "Hey, stick with the plan. Make sure she don't know your love life and don't go over there." Tone yelling in the phone, "Man, I messed up. I just left her house. And man, she wanted me." Vic started laughing. He like, "What was you even doing at her house? You know what? Never mind. Just stick to the plan and you gonna be alright." Just as Tone was about to respond, Kiwi name popped up on the screen. Tone was like, "I'm gonna hit you later, Vic," then clicked over. Kiwi's voice then started blasting over the speakers, and as she spoke, it made him feel so loved and at peace. She wanted to let Tone know that she was tired and headed to bed, but she wanted to call and check up on him before she had done so. Tone thanked his lady for the gesture and let her know that he was headed home in a few and he'll be there soon. They hung up, And Tone's soft gangster butt end up bumping some Bruno Mars, leave the door open, and start thinking about Kiwi as he sung it. Here's the catch-22. Tone didn't know he was being followed the whole time. Tone had pulled up to the corner store to grab him some Swishers and some Starbursts. That was his favorite. A gray car had pulled in 3 spots from him and was peeping his every move. Tone then had hopped back in the car, broke down the Swisher, rolled some power plant, sparked it, and pulled off. Tone started driving back towards the house. He got about 4 blocks from the house, and he noticed that this car been following him for a while. He cut a quick left. They cut a quick left. He bent the corner again, and they followed. Tone pissed now. He grabbed Black Boy, slammed the truck in park, and got out. He walking towards the car. He just knew this was about to be trouble. And as he got closer to the car, the light beams was blinding him, but the car door opened, and all he could see was luscious long hair. Babe, you hear somebody knocking? FBI, open up! Part 4. I thought about it. If you guys really want part 4 today, bring me up to 5,000 followers and get me 400 comments. I'll post it today.
Yeah. Say my name. Yeah. You only get one time to make a first impression. Perfume of the day got me smelling like I'm heaven. Secure on my body is some rainbow but a blessing. Argue with your mama, just not me cause I ain't stressing. Part 4. Yeah. Tone parked the car, now he about to take it real far. Blinded by the lights, saw the chick pop out the car.
Y'all thought I was about to rap? I play too much. Let's get into it. So as he got closer to the car, the beam from the lights was blinding him, but the driver's door opened and all he could see was long, luscious hair. They turned the lights off now so he could see who it was. Tone was like, damn, why you following me? It was Kiwi's father, Twan. Twan was like, hold up, you left dinner in a rush. I had to see what was up, because my daughter ain't about to follow behind no fool. Who was that chick that you went to go see? You screwing her? Huh? You screwing her? Then Twan brushed up on Tone. Tone was like, hold up. It ain't even like that. That's my kid's mother. I went to go check up on my son. He wasn't feeling too well. Big Twan wasn't trying to hear none of that. He was like, you know what? I'm about to go tell Kiwi right now because this wedding ain't happening. He hopped in the car and sped to the house. Tone hopped in the car and sped right behind him. Whole time, they blowing up Tone's phone, trying to get his attention. He just keep declining the calls. So Twan and Tone end up pulling up at the house around about the same time. Kiwi father gets out, rushes in the house with Tone right behind him. They find Kiwi on the couch chilling, watching TV. Confused by the commotion, Kiwi gets up and asks, what's going on? Like little kids, Twan and Tone start talking over each other. She hushes them both down. Then Kiwi father belts out, I demand that this wedding is canceled because he got some secrets that he hiding. Kiwi looked Tone in the eye and say, what's going on? He explains that he went to go check up on the baby because he wasn't feeling well. Kiwi wasn't surprised because she knew he was once married and he has children. She explained to her father that she knows the circumstances and she trusts Tone to the fullest. Still not convinced, but he respected his daughter's wishes. He accepted what it was and he kissed his daughter goodnight. Kiwi then walked her father to the door and then followed behind Tone to go upstairs so he could take a shower. Laying in bed, waiting for Tone to get out, she keeps hearing his phone ringing on vibrate. He never has his phone on vibrate. So she reaches over to see the caller ID, and it says, her. Kiwi thinks to herself, who is her? She let the phone ring, but then they called back. So now Kiwi answered that phone. Who is this? They responded, who is this? This Kiwi. Now what you want with my man? Part 5. The wait is over. Let's get into it. Part 5. Who is this? They responded, who is this? Then Kiwi said, this Kiwi. Now what you want with my man? Long, quiet pause. Then they hang up. Kiwi hot now. Tone just exiting out the shower with the towel wrapped around just below his pelvic bone. He was like, boo, who was that? Confused and upset, but yet happy and content because one, who was her, and two, he wasn't tripping because Kiwi had his phone. So Kiwi just responded, her. He walked over and kissed Kiwi on the forehead. He explained he put her name like that in the phone because she was a trifling woman and didn't deserve a name. Kiwi smirked a little bit, and she said, why she calling so late and hanging up? That's some weird ass shit, and that you need to fix it because I'm not for it. Tone rest assured her that he will fix everything and make her the happiest woman she could be. Knowing that Tone has never deceived her or made her feel like he was lying in any type of way, Kiwi just relaxed and let Tone do what he needed to do to get it done. The next morning rolled around, Friday morning to be exact, and there was just so much stuff that needed to be done. Kiwi and Tone were getting married tomorrow, and she wanted to make sure everything was perfect. Kiwi started off early, around 8 a.m. Kiwi kissed Tone on the forehead while he was in the bed sleeping to let him know that she was leaving out. She walked her thick behind to her truck, jumped in, and pulled off. Around noon, Tone got a text. He exhales heavily and proceeds to call her. Hello? Faye, what the hell do you want? Babe, stop acting like that. Faye. Okay, fine. You can't marry her. You know what? I'm about to just hang up on you. Because what the hell are you talking about? Married. Tone tried to play it cool. No, for real. You about to get married to our surrogate. That was the girl that was going to have a baby for us. What the hell are you talking about? You don't even know her, Faye. Yes, I do, Tone. That's Kiki, a.k.a. Kiwi. Remember I told you I had a little friend? We would go out to dinner and have drinks? Yeah, that's her. You cannot marry her. Faye, it is what it is. Because I didn't even meet the girl when you was talking about doing that. Because you ain't want me to know her. So it don't matter. It do matter. Because I'm your wife. You love me. You're supposed to be with me, not her. Don't marry her or I'm going to get her ass. Tone hung up in Faye's face because she was talking nonsense, and he refused to let anything happen to Kiwi. Tone blocked Faye. Tone's phone rang again. It's the bridesmaid. Tone, hurry up and get up to the hospital. Kiwi fainted. Part 6? Before y'all try to get on me, part 6 already posted. Told you. Part 6. Tone hopped in his truck and rushed to the hospital. Hi, sir. How can I help you? I need Shakia Jackson's room, please. I'm her husband. That's room 214, sir. Thank you. Tone quickly finds the room and sees that Kiwi's laying in the bed, very pale in her skin color. Gently kissing Kiwi on her forehead, he says, "Are you okay, baby? What's going on?" Very weakly, Kiwi says, "I have something to tell you." Tone says, "Okay, baby, you could tell me anything." The bridesmaid says, "I'll leave you two alone." And then she exits the room. Kiwi then cries out, "I'm sorry, baby. I really am." Tone being confused, he like, "What happened? Talk to me." Kiwi says, "I was doing the last fitting for the dress and I wasn't feeling well. I was feeling lightheaded and I fainted. I thought it was just the nerves from the wedding, but babe, I'm 8 weeks pregnant." Shocked, Tone said, "No need to be sorry, baby. I knew I've been beating that back in." Kiwi laughed weakly and said, "So you're not mad or upset?" He says, "No, I'm so happy. I'm about to have my own kid." Tone shows so much joy. I mean, he had kids, but they weren't of his blood. But to know that Kiwi was pregnant sent emotions over him that he couldn't even handle. Tone then laid with Kiwi until the doctor said that she was discharged and ready to go home. In the car, they both had the biggest smiles on their face and just could not get enough of each other. They headed home, and Kiwi's family brought everything that she needed to prepare for the wedding tomorrow. Tone stayed for a little while, but then he left for the hotel so that he did not sleep or see his bride the day of the wedding. That night, once Kiwi was done with everything, they talked on the phone until they fell asleep together. Saturday morning arrived, and it's wedding day. This day was filled with so much emotion, it was so hectic. Kiwi was prepping for the best representation of herself, and Tone was frustrated because he was trying to master his tie. In the midst of all this, Tone's phone had rang from a 513 area code. He thought it was the caterers because he had ordered a second cake for Kiwi just for a small gesture surprise. Then reality hit. It's Faye. She screamed in the phone, "Please don't marry her." Not letting anything ruin his day, stupidly, he said, "That's my wife, and she's carrying my baby. I'm done with you." Faye breathes heavy and then says, "Bet." So when who the hell did touched on my Minute Maid? Part 7.
Story that got you snapped. Part 7.
It's wedding day, and Tone just got an aggravating phone call from Faye. He let her know that he's done with her and never wants to speak with her again. It's time. Tone walks down to the ceremony, and seeing Kiwi and his loved ones, everyone just looks so beautiful. Anthony Hamilton playing in the background to set the mood. Tone and his groomsmen was waiting up front for Tone's bride. Music still playing, the ladies began to walk in one by one. That's all Tone could mumble to say. As she got closer, Tone could only admire Kiwi's custom mermaid tully lace halter sleeveless sweep train wedding dress, and it was giving goddess. He couldn't believe that this beautiful woman will be his wife in a matter of minutes. Kiwi reaches the front, and Tone takes her hand so that they could start the ceremony. The minister steps in and begins his speech. Everyone is quiet, enjoying the beautiful sight they have in front of them. He finishes up and says, "You may now kiss the bride." Tone removes her veil, then goes in for a kiss. Then,
what the fuck is that?
Everyone heard banging on the ceremony's door. Busting in was a hot and fury Faye who smelled like she'd been drinking. Stumbling down the aisle towards Tone and Kiwi, Faye screamed, "Heifer, you can't marry him. He mine." Tone's homeboy Vic rushed down the aisle to grab Faye to take her out. But as Vic was escorting her out, Tone yelled, "What are you doing here? It's too late. We're married now. This is my wife." Faye yelled back, "Did you tell your wife that you was at my house the other night screwing me?" Everyone gasped in disbelief. Tone looks at Kiwi and he says, "It's not true, baby, I swear." Tone was trying to hold Kiwi's hand so she couldn't storm off, but she yelled, "Let me go." Kiwi snatched her hand from Tone and took 2 steps towards him and said, "How do you know her? Is that your ex-wife?" "Answer me, Tone." He replies, "That's my ex-wife." Kiwi then walks towards Faye while she being drugged out and says, "Why would you ruin my day?" Faye goes on and says, "You really don't mean nothing to him. We was only using you to have a baby. He'll never truly love you." Kiwi sharks back and says, "Oh, well, did you tell him while y'all was trying to have a baby that you didn't even want it to be his seed, huh? Did you tell him that?" Faye lost control, then jumped towards Kiwi and swung and hit her, and then... Previously on Sorry Not Sorry, Part 7.
What the fuck is that?
Everyone heard banging on the ceremony's door. Busted in was a hot and fury Faye who smelled like she'd been drinking. Faye goes on and says, "You really don't mean nothing to him. We was only using you to have a baby. He'll never truly love you." Kiwi sharks back and says, "Oh, well, did you tell him while y'all was trying to have a baby that you didn't even want it to be his seed, huh? Did you tell him that?" Faye lost control, then jumped towards Kiwi and swung and hit her, and then... Let's get into it. Part 8. Faye slapped Kiwi right in her face, then proceeded to choke her. Tone and Kiwi's father, Twine, ended up running towards Faye and tackling her down. They struggled a little bit to get her down because Faye had a slim body, but she was strong like an ox. Kiwi, knowing her health condition, had to hold back the urge to go Faye up. Once Tone and Twine got Faye up out that ceremony hall, Kiwi's father walked Kiwi to the back room. He said, "Baby girl, tell me right now what you want to do." Being as embarrassed as she was, she just asked her father to take her to his house so she could think. Even though Kiwi's ceremony was ruined, technically she's now married to Tone. Kiwi is conflicted. Tone never lied to her before, but it's real odd that her father called Tone at her house the other night. Now Faye busting in here talk about they screwed that night. And on top of all that, she pregnant with his baby. Kiwi reached her father's house, not even knowing what happened once she left, and she ain't even care. It may seem small, but she was over it all at this point. How could Tone let Faye come up in here and disrespect her like that? How did Faye even know where the wedding was? He just had to tell her, and she knew it. Back at Grand Luca Ballroom, Tone and the wedding party was helping everybody get back to their cars. The bridesmaid ended up seeing Tone gaze in sadness, so she walked over and apologized to him. She says, "Tone, is all my fault and I'm so sorry." He said, "Stop it now. It's no one's fault but my own." She replied, "No, listen. The other day before the rehearsal dinner, I ended up getting my hair done by a new stylist and I spilled all the tea. I was so excited about my best friend getting married, I kind of told her where and when." Tone stepped back in disbelief. "So that's why she started calling me randomly. Talk about don't get married. Dang. I thought it was actually one of me and her's mutual friends that actually slipped up and told her." He thought, Kiwi ain't gonna forgive me for this one. And little did he know, Faye never actually left. She was actively watching him and the bridesmaid talk. Faye knew that nobody knew what type of car she was in, so she just patiently waited in the bushes till everybody pulled off. Keep in mind, years prior, Tone had divorced Faye because she had crazy tendencies and took things way too far. So just like today, in this current moment, Faye had a plan, and she was going to take action on it. The parking lot cleared out, and Tone was the last to leave. Now, he waited because he knew Kiwi didn't want to speak with him right now, so he was just giving her time to cool off. Now, Tone went to go get inside of his truck instead of the limo that he got for him and Kiwi for their honeymoon. He reaches in his pockets for his keys. He unlocks the door. He grabs the handle to get in to sit down, and then he rubs his face in frustration. Sitting in the truck, trying to think of a master plan to get Kiwi back, he started to feel real lightheaded. He just couldn't control himself, and he passed out right in the driver's seat. Moments before, Faye had came and rubbed liquid ketamine over Tone's truck door handle. Faye then waited to make sure Tone had passed out. She ran down the block to go ahead and grab her 91 beat-up Saturn and pull back up so that her passenger side was on Tone's driver's side. She hopped out the car and went to Tone's truck, opened the door, dragged them out, and pushed them in her car. To cover her tracks, she took Tone's phone and attempted to unlock it. Laughing hysterically, she gets it unlocked, and then she taps Tone on the head and says, "Dummy." Tone had the same password from years ago. And go figure, it's Faye's birthday. Makes you think. She opens the phone and she texts Kiwi that he's going to be gone for a couple days till everything blows off. She hits send, throws the phone in Tone's truck, closes and locks the door, and hops in her car and pull off.
Hey, babe, I'm hungry. Can you make me a sandwich, please?
Yeah, baby, I got you. I'm coming now. I gotta go make this sandwich. Part 9. Part 9, y'all. Faye hopped in the car and took off. She drove for a while until she reached the undisclosed location, smiling in the inside because she knew she had Tone exactly where she wanted him. After dragging Tone inside, she handcuffed him to the long steel bar. While Tone was knocked out, Faye was preparing for the night of her life. She went over there and kissed Tone so passionate that it brought back past memories. She snapped a picture instantly so she could retain that current memory. Faye was ready for any and everything. Tone slowly became conscious again, and when he looked around, he ended up starting to panic. Tone didn't know where he was at or how he even got there. Once Faye seen that he was panicking, she whispered to him, "It's okay, baby. It's me. Everything's gonna be alright." Tone then noticed that he was handcuffed, and he immediately started fiddling with that lock. With no luck, all he could do was sit there and listen to Faye verbally confess her love for him and frustration. Faye had a little oomph in her voice and was talking with purpose. She said, "You up and went and married our surrogate. You did a bad thing, Tone, but I'm going to give you a chance to fix it." Tone screamed out, "You crazy, Faye. You going to jail." Unfazed by Tone's reaction, she walks a little closer to him and she says, "Help me get the baby, and I won't kill Kiwi. And if you refuse to help me, I will kill Kiwi, you, and that baby." She then took the needle and pushed it in Tone's thigh, and he passed out again. Faye then uncuffed Tone and moved him to the bed just to cuff him again. She began to remove his and her clothes. Lying next to Tone, Faye ended up taking frame-worthy pictures of him and her together, bucket naked. She took advantage of Tone. She was going to get what she wanted one way or another. After Faye had her fun festivities and her photo bomb, she got her stuff and left out and left Tone at the undisclosed location. She had to go grab her kids from a birthday party. Faye drove her 91 beat-up Saturn to her original car and jumped in. And on the way to go pick up the kids, she made sure she sent those spicy pictures in a quick text to Tone's phone. Part 10. Alright, hush it. It's posted already. Yeah, you was talking. Part 10. It's been 3 whole days, and Tone ain't answered Kiwi's father's phone calls. Twan been calling Tone since the night of the wedding, and it seemed like he can't even get through. And Kiwi hasn't even thought about calling Tone, and she blocked him, so she don't even know if he tried to call or not. Frustrated by Tone, Twan stopped over by his house for 2 things. 1, to grab his baby girl some clothes, and 2, to see what Tone crazy butt was talking about. Twan got there, and nobody was answering the door. And Tone's car wasn't even in the driveway, so he used his daughter's key to let him in. Twan had got everything that his daughter needed, and he was about to proceed to walk out, but then he got a call from Kiwi. He answered it. "Dad, come get me, please. The owner from Luca Ballroom just called, and he said the truck been sitting out there in the lot for 3 days. He about to tow it." Twan got back in the car, pulled up to the house to see Kiwi was on the porch waiting for him. She got in the car, and they headed to the ballroom. As they was pulling up, Kiwi spot Tone's truck, so she got out. She walked over there to see if someone was in the truck. No one was in there. So Kiwi takes her spare key that she had for the truck, unlock the door, hop in, and drive to her daddy's house. And while she was driving to her dad's house, she called the owner and thanked him for not towing the truck. She hung up. Then she hesitated. She didn't want to call Tone because he should be calling her first. But she started to call. And then she started hearing vibrations coming from the passenger side. She pulled over, get out, walks over to the passenger side and looks around. She feels something. It's Tone's phone. The screen is cracked, but you can still see everything. Confused, she hopped back in the truck and continued to her dad's house. She driving, she thinking like, why would he leave his truck and his phone? She just keep driving. Kiwi was like, nah, it's something that's wrong. As she was pulling into her dad's driveway, Twan was pulling in right behind her. She hopped out and went to her dad and was like, look, Pops, it's something wrong. He left his phone and his truck. You know Tone don't never leave his phone. We need to call the police. Twan walks his daughter inside. He says, look, everything's going to be fine. I'm going to call the police. As she goes inside and sit down, she holding his phone thinking, where could he be? Tone's phone then vibrates from all the missed notifications and his phone lights up and she sees 5 text messages from her. Kiwi's face drops. So she unlocks his phone with Face ID because Tone had put her in there earlier this month. She opens the messages and then boom, she see everything Face sent. Part 11. Let's see if they let me do 7 minutes. Let's get into it, guys. Part 11. So Kiwi had access to Tone's phone and she seen all the spicy pictures between him and Faye. She looked at the date and it was sent the night of the wedding. Fuming in anger, Kiwi had one thing on her mind, and that was straight get back. She no longer thought that Tone was missing. She just figured he hiding now. And Kiwi dared not to tell her father about the situation. She was going to handle it on her own. So that night, Kiwi called Vic. They've been talking the whole time behind Tone's back. Vic came over to keep Kiwi adultly entertained for the night. And little did she know, whole time, Tone was fighting for his life. Tone had been handcuffed to the chain that only allowed him enough room to go to the bathroom and back to the bed. Faye done had Tone hostage for 3 days now. She ain't even feel sorry for him. She would just bring him food so he wouldn't starve and use him for his seed. Other than that, she would leave Tone all alone in the dark day after day. And Faye been on her grimy stuff lately, so she was definitely keeping an eye on Kiwi. And this night, Faye got exactly what she was looking for. Faye had seen Kiwi pick up the truck the other day, so she followed her to her dad's house. And she seen Kiwi rushing out the house to hop in the truck to go to her house to link up with Vic. Faye started snapping pictures left and right. Inside her phone, she had magically wonderful pictures of Kiwi and Vic acting real friendly before they walked in the house. Faye didn't want Kiwi and Tone together, so she was willing to do whatever to prove that Kiwi wasn't as innocent as she portrayed. After all night lurking, around 6 a.m., Faye snapped a picture of Vic leaving the house. Faye, knowing that Kiwi still had Tone's phone, she sent over the picture and said, "Gotcha." Then hit the road back to the undisclosed location. Kiwi was still in La La Land after the night she and Vic had, so she ain't hear Tone's phone chime. She showered, then laid back in the bed. Then she noticed the notification. She viewed who it was and mean-mugged it while she opened it. After seeing what was sent, Kiwi's heart dropped. She instantly called Faye on her phone, because after finding out that Faye was her, she still had her number from the old days. Faye recognized the number and answered. Immediately, Faye said, "Divorce Tone, and I won't let him know what such a dirty slut you are," then hung up. Kiwi, in shock from what just occurred, all she could do was sit there and think. Kiwi really did love Tone, And he always made her feel so special. And she ain't want to lose him over no piece of meat. Then she snapped out of it. Tone was just with Faye the night of their wedding. This ain't nothing but eye for eye. Then she thought, damn, it's his best friend though. Leaving Kiwi in her thoughts, Faye just pulled up on Tone. It's stinking here. Throwing them a washcloth and some soap, tell him to go bathe. Holding that black steel steady in her hand. Tone being pissed off, he get up and head to the bathroom so he can bathe. Faye being who she is, she start walking behind him, taunting him. You know Kiwi a dirty slut. And the baby probably ain't even yours. She been sleeping with your best friend. Making the mistake of walking closer to Tone with the phone in her hand, trying to show him the picture. Tone sees the picture of Vic leaving the house improperly dressed. Angered by this, Tone threw the soapy rag in Faye's face, then wrapped a chain around her neck. Startled by what's going on, Faye shot the gun. Faye missed and hit the mirror. Tone was squeezing that chain tight till she passed out. Tone was cut though, but he ain't want nobody on his name. Pushing Faye off of him, Tone grabbed the gun and shot the chain and set himself free. He tried to get dressed as quickly as possible. He seen Faye's purse by the front door, so he emptied it and grabbed Faye's car keys and her phone. So he hopped in the car, trying to drive with handcuffs on. And not knowing Faye's passcode, he couldn't get it unlocked to make a phone call. Tone still being dizzy and woozy from the drugs Faye kept giving him, he swerving in and out of traffic. Tone spotted the emergency room sign and hit a hard left. Pulling into the entrance, he hit the pillar. He get out, stumbling into the lobby. Nurses all running to assist him. Tone blackout. Now Kiwi still being stunned by everything that occurred. She calls Vic and tell him everything. So then Vic start telling Kiwi they can just up and bounce and start their little family somewhere else brand new. Kiwi, knowing that's not what she wanted to do, she stopped Vic mid-sentence and she said, we should end this. Vic not trying to listen to anything Kiwi talking about. He trying to persuade her to calm down. Kiwi yells, I am calm, then bang on his ass. She then blocks Vic's number and lay back. Saddened by everything that's going on and her actions that she partaked in, she dozes off in a deep sleep of sadness. Kiwi phone then gets to blowing up. It's Metro Hospital trying to get in contact with her to let her know that her husband has been admitted into the hospital. Completely unaware that her phone was ringing because she was in a deep sleep, she then was awoken by a loud bang and glass breaking. Two armed men rush up the stairs, grab Kiwi, cover her face, and drag her to the van. Blindfolded in the back of the van, only thing Kiwi could think about was what... Part 12, guys. So y'all, I am so excited. Before we get into part 12, because it's getting real messy, I got a surprise for y'all. I finally got the thumbs up to go ahead and do it. I introduced to y'all my prize raffle giveaway weekly. This week's prize raffle giveaway entails a beautiful lavender Amazon tote bag. I repeat, Amazon tote bag. We as baddies on budgets. But don't sleep on her, because she beautiful. Wait, but that's not all. The tote bag, a lace front bust down, melting bands, boho, edge control, baby hair combs, bonnets, flat iron, a 9-piece fluffy keychain set, fancy notebook with a fancy pen so you can write down whatever you want, a custom nail set from Moi, and more. To be entered into the raffle giveaway, all you have to do is donate $1. The Cash App is linked in my bio. When donating the $1, make sure that you put inside the subject line a 6-digit PIN that you can remember. All the 6-digit PINs will be mixed into a bowl. In exactly 1 week from now, I will announce the winner by calling out the 6-digit PIN in my newest story time. Hands down, I'm so excited for the winner to see what's up in this bag. So basically, don't walk, go run. Now let's get into the mess. Sorry, not sorry. Part 12. So remember when Tom crashed into that pillar at the hospital? Yeah. So now he just woke up and gained consciousness. His nurse walked in and says, "It's 2 cops outside waiting to speak with you. Only if you're up to it, though." Tom very lowly says, "Please call my wife. I need her to know I'm okay." The nurse states she's called several times and left voice messages. No one answered or returned any calls. Tom's still foggy with everything that's going on. He thinking like, Kiwi really don't want to have nothing to do with me. Tom then told the nurse to write down this number and to call them and have them come up here to see him. The nurse agrees. As she walks out, the 2 cops start walking in. "Hello, sir. I'm Officer Dale, and this is Officer Mike. You did quite some damage coming in here earlier today. Can you tell me what's going on?" Without hesitation, Tom spilled everything about the wedding, Faye popping up on him, kidnapping, she slipping him something, taking advantage of him, and even how he escaped. The officer then asked him, "Well, what was the location you were being held at?" Tom couldn't remember nothing. Only thing he could remember is that it was a big red building. It had cardboard on the windows, and it was about a 5-mile radius from here. Tom was still a little foggy, so the officers just thanked him for his time and headed on out, because everything pretty much checked out. They ran the license plate already. And on top of that, Tom had that date advantage pill in his system. At this time, Kiwi had been in the back of this van handcuffed and blindfolded for a while now. She was trying to make out the voices and the noises around her. Kiwi could tell that she was on the highway because it was a consistent flow of movement and not no stop and goes. Kiwi then yelled out, "Just let me go and I won't tell nobody, I swear." One of the dudes yelled back, "Shut the hell up." The other dude ended up correcting him, talk about, "Man, don't yell at her." Hearing that, Kiwi was no fool. She knew exactly who that was. She yelled, Victor, get me out this van now." With him knowing that she knew, he just told her, "Sit back and be quiet, please. I'm doing this for us." Kiwi knew that she had a soft spot with Vic, so she knew she had to play her cards just right. She then said, "Well, at least let me sit in the seat. I'm not feeling well, and you know I'm pregnant. Come on now." So then, obviously, removed himself from the passenger seat and helped Kiwi get up into one of the back seats. He made sure he buckled her in, though. She replied, "Thank you, baby," trying to butter Vic up because she knew she was going to need him later. Kiwi then played her part. She remained quiet for the rest of the car ride, trying to think of a master plan. Meanwhile, Faye had woken up from being passed out. She dared not to stay in that spot, so she bounced as quickly as she could. And with no car, no phone, all Faye could do was walk. Faye ended up walking till she got to the closest corner store. Faye walked in, stumbling and crying. She begged the manager if she could use the phone to call the police. Faye knew that this was the only way she can get out of this mess that she concocted. The manager gave her the phone and she dialed 911. She says, "Please help me. I've been robbed, kidnapped, and raped. Please help me, please." Faye, not knowing that Tom was in the hospital, she waited for the police and the ambulance. They pulled up, police took her statement, and the ambulance took her to the closest hospital. Back to Tom. He was resting in the hospital when he heard a small knock on the door, and then they ended up coming in. The lady had a look of worry on her face. She rushed over to him. She says, "Baby, are you okay? I was worried when I didn't hear from you. Where are you hurt?" And then she kissed him on the lips. Tom then said, "Baby, I'm fine. But just like I told you before, Faye out to get me. And this broad done kidnapped me and some more shit. I need you to take me to your spot, because Kiwi not answering, and I really think she over me for real." This two-time and heifer, the bridesmaid, gonna say, yeah, baby, whatever you want. That's fine." The two waited until the nurse came back with the discharge papers. The nurse didn't explain that he should be wheeled down to the car, so they had to wait a few more moments. Sidebar, Tone been smacking Kiwi best friend, the bridesmaid, for about 6 months now. He don't know how it happened. It just happened. And it don't hurt because she paid. As Tone was getting discharged and wheeled out, Faith was getting rolled in. They both crossed paths. And at the same time, they both yelled, "That's them! That's the one that kidnapped me! Get him!" Now, with the staff being in a sticky situation, they called for security and police. Now, neither Tone or Faye can leave. They already had Tone's statement and the physical damage pictures of his body. But they end up having to run a rape kit on Faye. And they found Tone's DNA.
Got him! Got him!
Yeah. Part 13. Ooh-wee. Y'all is acting up. Y'all didn't come to play no games. Y'all ready for this raffle. Thank you guys so much. We're only $4.17 away from meeting our donation goal. So real quick, before we get into part 13, if you are interested in my prize raffle giveaway weekly, all you have to do is donate $1. Cash App is in my bio. Also, each dollar will be one raffle ticket. Please remember when you are sending your donation to make sure you put a 6-digit PIN in the subject line that you can remember. Raffle donation entries will conclude February 27th at 11:59 p.m. And this week's winner will be announced Tuesday, February 28th. And as I said before, don't walk, run, because they already sprinting. Now let's get into the mess. Part 13. Kiwi's father, Twan, had been trying to get in touch with Kiwi, but all he was getting was voicemails. He decided to go to her house because she left so quickly the other day without even saying goodbye. Twan ended up pulling up to the house, and he noticed that the glass was broken. Alarmed by what he saw, he ended up pulling out that black steel and ended up scanning the whole house. He ended up searching everywhere, and Kiwi was nowhere to be found. After scanning the whole house, the last room was a bedroom. He walked in there, he seen Kiwi's phone on the floor. Twan started to panic. Someone had his baby girl. He grabbed the phone, ended up heading out to his car. He ended up calling the police on his phone, stating it was a break-in. The cops ended up arriving shortly after, surprisingly. Twan told it from the beginning to the end. Twan demanded that Tone was the one who took Kiwi. He didn't know nothing about Vix and Kiwi's relationship, so he couldn't pin him as a suspect. Now, with Tone being left in the dark about what's going on with Kiwi, all he could do was wait. Now, Faye, Tone, and the bridesmaid was still at the hospital. Now, after Tone and Faye had crossed paths, the bridesmaid was like, "Tone, that's Faye? That's the new hairstylist I was telling you about." Only thing Tone could do was shake his head, because at this point, this woman has caused so much chaos in his life, all he wanted to do was unalive her. After being placed in separate rooms in the hospital, the police came and questioned Tone once more. He ran over all the details again, and he stated Faye kidnapped him. The police then told Tone that he wasn't going to be able to leave willingly. He was going to have to be transported to the police station, which left the bridesmaid to have to meet him there. Meanwhile, Faye was in the other room putting on her whole Grammy performance. Crying and hooting and hollering, talking about Tone kidnapped her. The police started finding gaps in Faye's story and could no longer believe what she was talking about. Faye's story has switched up at least 3 times. First, she was kidnapped. Then she wasn't kidnapped. Then she was just given the data advantage pill and taken advantage of. The cops could only look at Faye in disgust. So they ended up transporting her to the police station too. Now, Kiwi being so aggravated and so over this long ride, she says, "I gotta pee." They both had ignored her because they was just figuring she was just trying to say stuff to get up out this van. Knowing that they ignored her, she then yelled, "I gotta pee now. Get me up out this van." or I'ma piss in these seats. Triggered by her, the guy driving says, you could pee when we get there. Kiwi then started to cry and whine like she was a 2-year-old just to try to get a rise up out of Vic. Vic tells the guy to pull over at the next exit. They pull over, but they tell her she got to use the restroom outside. They was about a little over half a mile from civilization. It was nothing but just open field. Kiwi rolls her eyes, calmly gets out, looks around, then take off. So Kiwi running, yelling, help, help me, they're trying to kill me, help. They chasing behind her. They can't catch her though, cause Kiwi had speed on her. Let's switch over. Faye was now sitting in this cold cell and she was panicking, and they could definitely tell. The cops grabbed Faye and took her to a room. Before she could even sit down good enough, they said, this your last time to be able to tell me the truth. Do you even know this man? What happened? Faye obviously lied. She was like, I don't know him and he just kidnapped me. They got up and left the room. They weren't trying to hear that bullshit. They let her think some more. They went to go visit Tone. So being the cops that they are, they went and asked Tone the same thing. His story lined up, as always, from the beginning. The cops called the ballroom. They confirmed the altercation. They also found Tone's and Faye's marriage license. And then they confirmed the wedding of Kiwi and Tone. They decided to go ahead and let him go, but they told him he better not go far. So Tone ended up meeting the bridesmaid up at the front so he could leave. As they was walking to the car, Twine spotted Tone and ended up bum rushing him. Where the hell is my daughter? And what did you do with her? Tone was confused because he didn't know what was going on. Tone was like, what is you talking about? Twine was like, Kiwi missing. At a loss for words, all Tone could do was cry, and them tears turned into anger. So Tone decided to ditch the bridesmaid and hopped in the car with Twine, and he ended up spilling everything that happened. And at this point, they was at a halt because Tone could only think of one person, and that was Faye that wanted to hurt Kiwi. But Faye was now in jail, and if she had her, that means Kiwi would die alone. Tone thinking and thinking hard, Twine was like, I found Kiwi's phone, but I can't get up in it. Tone snatched the phone from him, put in the passcode. He ended up looking at all the missed calls from the hospital, and then it dawned on him. Kiwi didn't answer because she didn't care. Kiwi didn't answer because she was taken. Prepare for the worst, because he know how females is. Tone went ahead and went through Kiwi's phone to see who was the last person that she talked to. He found the unsaved number, so he called it. The phone continuously rang, but then it went to a generic voicemail. Running full speed, Kiwi had a lead on them guys. Kiwi was getting closer to the pawn shop that was just ahead, screaming full lungs, help! Vic caught up with her, grabbed her, slammed her on the ground. He yelled to the other guy, go grab the van. About 5 people came up out the pawn shop to see what the commotion was. Being unbothered that the people had came out the pawn shop, the van pulled up. Vic grabbed Kiwi, shove her in. He jumped in, they pull off. Then Vic's phone rings again. He answered it. Hello? Part 14. Did you enter the raffle? Okay, don't forget. Winner will be announced Tuesday, February 28th. Now let's get into the mess. Part 14. Hello? Who this? It's the person you called. Now what you want? Man, I'm just trying to find the whereabouts of Kiwi. You know where she at? Yeah, I see you calling from her phone. She won't be back. So you could did that right now. Man, dawg, let me just speak to her so I can make sure she cool. Kiwi screaming in the background. Who is this? Let her go. Is it money? I give you whatever you want. It ain't money I want. It's her. Vic hangs up. Then toss the spare phone out the window. Tone, fuming in anger, ended up punching the dashboard. Tone then said it's time for a manhunt. He then called up all his block boys. He then made one last phone call, and that was to his homeboy since under rules, Vic. He calls, then Vic pick up on his daily phone. Hi, what's up, bro? Man, bro, I need you to slide up on me real quick. Vic hesitates. He said, what's up? What's wrong? Man, I'll explain it when you get here. Just please pull up. I'm actually headed out of town. I ain't gonna be back for a couple days. Tone paused. He listened. Man, Vic's background was sounding real familiar. Tone was like, where you at? Vic paused and then said, just a quick drop off in Detroit. Tone knew he was lying because Vic never did drop offs himself. Tone thought to himself, should I let him know I know, or should I just play it cool? Tone then said, Kiwi missing. Vic was like, nah, she ain't missing. Don't worry, she gonna show up soon. Unable to hear Vic lie anymore, Tone said, alright, I'm gonna catch up with you in a few days. Tone ended the call. He knew that Vic wasn't gonna disclose his location, so he said that he'd sit back and wait for them couple days. But when he came back, he had all hell to pay. Tone did not hesitate to update Twan on the situation, and together they formed a plan that you wouldn't even wish on your worst enemy. Now, y'all know the drill. Part 15. Make sure you get your popcorn ready, because I'm telling it all. Hey guys, so I tried to upload part 15 the regular way, but it kept sending an error. So I'm going to do it the audio way today. For future references, if you guys like the audio way, let me know and I can continue to do it like this and get stories out to you faster. Enjoy. Part 15. Tone and Twan been waiting. That's all they could do. Police wasn't going to be of no help, so they didn't even bother to reach out. Twan was becoming very impatient. He shouted out, let's just go to his mama's house. Since he want to play with my family, let's play with his. Tone was like, chill out. I got you, I promise. I told you since the first day I met you, I got Kiwi. Twan being enraged, he flipped over the chair. This taking too long. My daughter could be anywhere. As he was saying that, Tone got a text from Vic that said he was about to pull up. Tone told Twan to go chill downstairs till he was ready because he didn't want Vic to become suspicious. While they waited, Faye had become weaker from being in jail for the past week. She just wanted out. They had found it to be true that she kidnapped Tone and did such horrible things to him. The cops had no remorse for her. They would call her out her name and bring her the sloppiest of the slop food they could find. This was the end of the line for Faye. She was going to prison, and it was no way out of it. Tone seen Vic's car pulling up in the driveway. Eyes red with anger, Tone had to calm himself down. He took a couple breaths and opened the door right as Vic was pulling up. What's up? Come in. Vic walked in. Tone closed and locked the door behind him. Vic tried to act real normal. He said, what's up, man? What's going on? Tone said, come on, let's grab a drink. Walking towards the kitchen where the basement door was, Tone grabbed 2 glasses and poured 2 neat dark drinks and handed one off to Vic. Twan was in the basement and could hear everything and was becoming very impatient. Tone also couldn't take it anymore. And he says, I need Kiwi back, and I need her back now. Vic chokes on his drink a little bit and says, damn, she still ain't showed up? Tone hits Vic with the glass and says, stop playing me like I'm a fool. Where's Kiwi? Twan hears everything, then rushes upstairs. Vic says, she ain't coming back, so get over it. Tone pushes Vic again. Vic tries to retaliate, but not knowing Twan was there, Twan hit him on the back of the head with a bat. That knocks Vic out cold. They drag him down to the basement, tie him up flat on the wood table by the saw. Tone then gets a call. All Twan hears him say is it done? You there now? Good. I'll hit you back. Then walk back towards him. Time is running out, and they had to get things moving. So Twan took a bucket of cold water and splashed it over Vic's face. Vic shot back up, gasping for air. Once Vic was able to focus, Tone said to him, I'ma only ask you this one time. Then I'm going to start chopping off pieces. Where is Kiwi? Vic started to say. If you think before Vic could get it out, Tone clipped Vic's right pinky. Vic whelped in pain. You think I'm playing? Where is Kiwi? Vic took too long to respond. So then Tone clipped his right ring finger. Ah! Vic yelped out in pain. Stop it! How could you do this to me? Tone didn't care nothing about what Vic was talking about, so he clipped his middle finger. Ah! Seemed as Vic wasn't understanding what Tone was asking. So Tone decided he was going to waterboard him until he was an inch from being unalived. And at this time, Vic was thinking to himself, he would give his life to make sure that Tone never seen Kiwi again. Tone wasn't as good as Kiwi thought he was. Tone was a murderer. And he would never forget how he changed his life and his family's life. So since Tone took something of his, he was going to take something of Tone's. The water then stops pouring. Vic spits out the water trying to catch his breath. Twan got the look of crazy in his eyes. He ready to put one in his head. But he knew he couldn't until they know the whereabouts of his daughter. So Tone made a quick call and put it on speaker. I'ma ask you one more time, or your mama and your other sister gonna die. He could hear his mom and sister crying over the speakerphone. Tell me now, or they done. Vic says, wait. She at 3495 Ansel Road, top apartment. Tone hangs up, then hits Vic over the head to knock him out. Vic was a clever man, so Tone knew he couldn't leave him alone, and then he didn't want to leave him with Twine, because when he came back, Vic was going to be nothing but scraps. So they both went upstairs, and Tone picks up the phone, and he says, go to this address, armed and ready, and bring her back to me. They waited, and it seemed as time was going so slow. Tone then got a call. Nobody's here, boss. It's empty. Tone rushes back downstairs to see Vic had woken up and was trying to free himself. He pushes him and says, you think I'm stupid? They done now. He makes a call and puts him on speaker and says, do it. You hear 2 gunshots, then nothing but silence. Vic busts out crying. You bastard! Why would you do that? I'm gonna get you. I swear I'm gonna get you. Twine had had enough. This man was playing games, and he wasn't for it. He told Tone he would be back in a few minutes. In the meantime, Tone started to beat Vic's face in till you couldn't even recognize him anymore. It seemed as Vic just wasn't gonna cave and tell him what he wanted to know. Tone did not know what else to do. Just then, Twine came walking back down the stairs with a box in his hand. He walked over to Vic and says, you could tell me now, or you can die a miserable death. Vic says nothing. Twine takes his butcher knife and cuts Vic's stomach from left to right. Not too deep, just enough for the blood to come out. Twine then goes in the box and pulls out a metal bucket and a big-ass rat. Twine puts the rat on top of the cut and places the bucket over it. He tells Vic, this your last chance. This my daughter we talking about. Vic spits on Twine. Twine laughs. He takes the gloves and a blowtorch and starts to burn the bucket. As it gets hotter, the rat can feel it. The rat starts to dig into Vic's stomach just to get away from the scorching heat. The rat digs and digs. Vic starts screaming in agonizing pain. Please stop. Please stop. It's going inside of me. Please. Where is my daughter? Vic belts out. She at the St. Docks, the last boat on the left. Not believing anything Vic is telling him, he keeps the torch on the bucket. You liar. You gonna lie again? Vic screams, I'm not lying. I'm telling the truth. Tone sends the address to his buddies. Tone cuts the torch for the time being. About 30 minutes go past. He gets a text with a picture confirming that they got Kiwi. Tone texts back, stay there. I'm on my way. Tone gives Twine a confirmation.
And then Twan starts to blowtorch again. Vic screams, I told you the truth. The rat starts to dig inside his stomach, ripping his intestines. Twan watches as Vic's eyes go cold. Rushing to St. Doc's, Tone is the happiest man right now. Pulling in quickly, Tone sees Kiwi and rushes over to her to embrace her in his arms. Kiwi said, I have something to tell you about Vic. Tone hushes her quickly and says it doesn't matter anymore. He's gone. Faye's gone. It's just us. They hug and kiss and meet up with Twan back at the house. Twan had cleaned everything up and disposed of what needed to be gone. Everything was starting to look up. Or that's what they thought. Thank you guys so much for joining me of 15 parts of Sorry Not Sorry. Drop your comments below about a new story time that you'll like to hear, and you'll never know. Your comment may be the start of our new adventure. Remember guys, 11:59 Monday night will be the last time you can enter for the raffle. Until the next story time, you guys, 513 to the moon and back. One love. So, shout out to my best friend, because she the one who told me to give y'all the story and not wait until tomorrow when my hair was fried dyed laid to the side. Yeah, this is me, bitch. All this hang time. You don't see it? Look at it. Ooh. Ooh, stiff wear. So now y'all here with me doing my night routine. Don't mind what's on my face. If you do, you in my business. Ooh, now come on. You got to this dry. Part 16. So we last left off when Kiwi and Tone made it back home safely. Everybody had a sense of relief and felt like things would turn out much better now. Tone got his Kiwi back and Kiwi got her Tone back. Neither one of them asked any questions because they was already in a mess, and it seemed like they mess just kept popping up. About 8 months passed by and everything seemed to be running smooth. Faye was in prison, Vic was a ghost, baby Tay was born, and they had no worries. Everything seemed to be running smooth. Or was it? Kiwi's bridesmaid always showed face on outside gatherings, and for some reason, Kiwi felt that the bridesmaid was acting real weird. Now on this particular day, Kiwi decided that she was going to stay in the house with baby Tay because he was running a little fever and wasn't feeling too well. So Tone then proceeded to leave and hit the gym and grab a few material goodies for the loves back at the house. This day so far seemed as it was running real foggy, and Tone couldn't quite put his finger on it. Now, since Kiwi been back in Tone's arms, he knew he didn't want to be with no other chick, so he stopped sleeping around. And as you know, this made the bridesmaid not too happy. Tone had changed his number, and they moved since all the drama had went down. But he still went to the same gym because it was his favorite. He entered the gym, proceeded to do his warm-ups, and then went straight into his reps. Lo and behold, a 5'7" womanish figure appeared straight in front of him. She said, "You need a spot?" Turned off by the situation, Tone said, "No, I'm good." The woman then begins to move closer and says, "Well, it looks like it. That dad bod kicking your ass." Tone instantly put down the weights and said, "What do you want, woman?" The bridesmaid said, You what I want." Tone clearly said, "We over. There's no more of me and you." Delusional and unwilling to accept reality, she said, "That little happy family you got gonna turn sour real quick if you don't give me what I want." Being that Tone just got out of a crazy situation, he did not have time and he was too tired for another episode of Chicks Going Wild. So he told her, "Do what you gotta do." And at that moment, he knew he was gonna have to break it to Kiwi, and it was better that she heard it from him than her.
The bridesmaid then scuffles off laughing, then says, yeah, aight, nigga. He waited until the bridesmaid was out of eyesight and then he left. He knew he had to get to his family right away. He got back to the house and he seen a beautiful sight of his wife and child snuggled on the floor watching Gracie's corner. Kiwi spotted Tone and motioned for him to come over. Tone went over and sat down and said, baby, you my rock and I love you, but we need to talk. Kiwi rolled her eyes and said, go ahead. Tone told Kiwi everything, even the behind the scenes. She was shocked, but she couldn't be upset because she had some skeletons in her closet too. So Kiwi then said, okay, well that was the past, so why are you telling me now? Tone then explained that he seen the bridesmaid at the gym and she threatened the family. Kiwi then embraces Tone and says, well, thank you, baby, for telling me. That was the past. This is the present. I'm not going anywhere, and I love you. They kissed deeply and then enjoyed a night full of family time. But as the night fell and they were snuggled into bed, Kiwi couldn't help but think, dang, is the bridesmaid gonna blab about Vic? Or even the fact that Tay may not be Tone's? Because from Tone's knowledge, Vic was just obsessed with Kiwi and went loco in the head over her. Tone knew nothing about the relationship, and Kiwi felt like she didn't have to tell him then because Vic a ghost now. Kiwi just kept thinking to herself, I gotta stay 2 steps ahead of her. And then she drifted off into a slumber. Oop. It's dry now, part 17. Make sure y'all stay tuned in for the 2 raffle winners tomorrow. You drink water today? Lace wear. Okay, you can see it a little bit. Shut up. But no though, for real though, I just want to pet it. Okay, yeah. Pipe down, sis. I'm coming. Put them lace bands on tight and strap on that bonnet, because this is about to be a ride. Part 17. Trying to execute a plan, Kiwi dozed off into a slumber. A few hours later, she was woken up by a hungry baby Tay's cry. She slid into his room and began to nurse. Still frustrated with all this new drama and the new baby, she was thinking of something hard to get up out of this new mess. And at first she was thinking like, well, we homegirls, she ain't gonna rat. But she shook that thought right up out of her head, because she was like, if she was a friend, she wouldn't even be thinking about sleeping with her husband. Just sickened by the thought of Tone and her together made her nauseous. So she just focused her eyes on baby Tay, and looking at him, she just felt so at peace. Then boom, she had a plan. So she was going to swab the baby mouth, and she was going to get some DNA off of like a cup that Tone would like drink out of or something. She then was going to ship it out, and when the results came, if it turned out to be that it was Tone's baby, she was going to deny everything. Deny. And if it wasn't, she was going to have to hush Miss Bridesmaid up before she got to Tone. The only thing, though, it was a waiting game, because she didn't know when little Miss Missy was about to spill the tea. And if she even had enough time for the DNA test to come back first. So we're going to fast forward it just a little bit. The next morning, Kiwi hopped straight on it. She told Tone she was going to go get the baby some meds, because remember, he wasn't feeling well. But she ended up going to get that DNA test. She got home, swabbed the baby. She cooked breakfast. She waited for Tone to eat. And then she took Tone's breakfast glass and took the DNA from that, got it all together, and mailed it out. And only time would tell now. And a few days later, the bridesmaid ended up mysteriously bumping into Kiwi at the clothing store. Kiwi could tell that she felt like she had one up on Kiwi, but little did she know, Kiwi already had the tea. Kiwi just stayed silent, and she didn't reveal that she knew what happened between her and Tone, and she just fake smiled throughout the whole conversation. Kiwi returned home as normal and just waited, and the anticipation was just killing her. About 2 weeks had passed, and Kiwi was constantly looking out for the mailman. And this particular day, the mail ended up coming early, and Tone ended up getting the mail. Tone comes upstairs as Kiwi's getting out the shower. He says, "Babe, you got some mail on the counter." He then says, "It looks like an official document. I didn't open it. I wanted to wait for you." Kiwi's heart drops. She says, "Okay, babe, I'll get it in a minute." Kiwi had to think of something quick. She couldn't open it with him right there. She then yells out, "Babe, can you run to the store really quick and grab me some feminine products? I ran out. It's an emergency. Can you go now?" She waited for Tone's truck to pull out the driveway. She rushed downstairs, grabbed the envelope, ripped it open. Clutching her pearls, Kiwi couldn't believe what she was reading. Dang. Part 18. Oh yeah, before I forget, while I was telling y'all the story, y'all seen me pull 2 tickets out the bag. Raffle time. And it ain't just one, it's 2 of them. So if your name is Stacy Smith or Felicia Nicole, I cashed up you your winner pin. Go ahead and inbox me with that pin and claim your prize. You have 24 hours. And if you do not, I have to pick new winners. And trust me, you want to claim it because they counting for you, sis. Guys, let's congratulate our winners. Also, I want to let you know that raffle number 3 is now open. Let's hear from a quick word from our week 1 winner, Tanya B. All right, guys, until next time.
I entered a contest, wasn't expecting to win, but when I did win, I was excited. I love all of my gifts. Thank you, best friend.
Hey, you know you live right now.
Okay, look, Linda, listen now, Linda, listen. Now, the reason I ain't been on TikTok and posting is because one day I was on the freeway and I ran into a deer, bruh. You know, half deer, half zebra. But look, I'm okay though. But we ain't gonna get into that though. You want part 18? Because if you do, I got it. I can deliver that, like, right now. Okay, cool. Like, you forgive me now? Like, we can get into it now? Okay, now part 18. If you don't know where we at right now, just go back and check the last videos and get caught up. Let's get into it. So Kiwi got the test results back, and she did not like the DNA results one bit. Tone was not the father. Hurt by these results, Kiwi began to cry. Hearing Tone's truck pull back up in the driveway, she had to straighten up quick and dispose of those results. She hurried up and ran back upstairs and hid the results underneath the mattress. She knew he wasn't gonna never look there. He never made that bed. Rushing back into the bathroom, Kiwi was panicking. Tone walked upstairs and glided into the bedroom to the bathroom. He knocked on the door and said, "Hey, babe, here you go. I hope this the right car." Opening the door and trying to grab the product, Tone was being playful, acting like he wasn't trying to let it go. With Kiwi being so nervous and not in the mood to play, she grabbed the product and slammed the door. Tone didn't take that too personal. He just headed back downstairs. Once he got back downstairs, he did notice that the big envelope wasn't there no more, but he didn't think too hard on it. With Kiwi being locked in the bathroom, she was thinking so hard on what to do. So she pulled her phone out and she texted the bridesmaid that they should meet. While she was waiting on a response, she knew she couldn't stay in the bathroom. So she went downstairs and joined Tone on the couch where they watched a few cooking shows. Feeling her phone then buzz, she opened the message and it said, "Sure, where and when?"
Kiwi replied, "I'll text you the details in a minute." Then she quickly put her phone up. Thinking on her feet, she told Tone, "Hey, can you watch the baby for a minute? Because my dad just texted me. He asked me to come right on over." He nodded in agreement, and then she kissed Tone on his forehead and walked out the front door. While in the car, Kiwi called her dad and told him we have a major problem and to meet her in a specific location. Twan hesitated none when it came to Kiwi. They met up about 20 minutes later at that private location. At this time, Kiwi had no choice but to tell her dad everything. With Twan being the man that he is, he told Kiwi to just tell Tone the truth. And if he stays, he really loves her. And if he leaves, then it just wasn't meant to be. But then Twan knew that they had unalived Tay's real father, so he really couldn't just leave the baby out here with no father figure at all. So Twan just asked Kiwi what she wanted to do. She told her dad that the bridesmaid had to be put to sleep because she was the only one that knew this dirty little secret. Kiwi also told her dad that the bridesmaid and her was supposed to meet up soon. Twan told her to go ahead and text that location and don't worry about it ever again because she wouldn't talk no more. Fast forward. The night had came and went, and it was a brand new day. Kiwi was on edge all morning until her father called her and said, "It's done." Relieved by the news, Kiwi then cheered up, started walking around the house, humming and dancing. She ended up meeting Baby Tay and Tone downstairs at the dining table. She kissed Baby Tay on the forehead and then walked over to Tone and whispered, "I got something for you tonight," inside of his ear. Turned on by what his wife just told him, he kisses her passionately and begins to make a move on her that only an adult can imagine. Being the smart man that he is, he paused and reality came back. He says, "Babe, I thought Aunt Flo was in town." Shaken by his response, she says, "Oh, yeah, I thought so too, but I guess I just ate something bad." Unfazed by that, because he's just a man, he says, "Okay, baby." They ended up enjoying the rest of their day together. And around 4 p.m., Tone told Kiwi that he had something special for her and to be ready in exactly 1 hour in her relaxation clothes. Kiwi being very excited, she darted upstairs, took a shower, changed her clothes, and now it's 4:45, and Tone packing the car up. They drove for what seemed about 30-ish minutes. He pulled up to a massage parlor and looked over to her and said, "You deserve to be pampered, and I'm going to pick you up in a few hours, okay? In the meantime, I'm going to take the baby to a few stores." Thinking nothing of it, she kissed both of them and ran into the massage parlor. Tone made sure that his wife got in safely, and then he drove and dropped the baby off at Twan's house. He wanted a romantic evening with his wife. After dropping the baby off, Tone went to a few stores to get some decorations and headed back home. When he got to the house, he poured rose petals all over the front door, into the entrance of the house, and up into the bedroom. He then lit candles and proceeded to straighten the bed out so that he could cover it with rose petals and gifts. As he was fixing the bed, he seen the corner of a piece of paper, and it looked just like the envelope from the other day. He pulled it out, looked at it, laboratory, and he opened it. And then to his surprise, he was reading a DNA test result to a child that was supposed to be his. Fuming with anger, Tone blacked out. Part 19. After blacking out, Tone came back to reality as he heard his phone buzzing as Kiwi was calling. He straight up declined her call, then texted her immediately to say that an Uber was on its way. Kiwi waited for the Uber and jumped in after it pulled up. As Kiwi was riding home, she was wondering to herself, why Tone just didn't come pick her up like he said he was. She just deaded the issue because she just came back from a relaxing massage and she wanted to maintain being relaxed. The Uber arrived at the house and Kiwi got out. As she walked in the house, Kiwi seen rose petals and everything spread across the floor. She was in awe of the whole visual. As she walks up the stairs, she calls out to Tone, but he doesn't answer. She kept walking towards the bedroom, but still didn't see Tone anywhere in sight. As she enters the bedroom door, boom, Kiwi was struck in the face. Kiwi's nose begins to run. Then boom, she gets hit again in her chest. She then starts to feel stomps placed all over her body. As she was buried in pain, Kiwi begins to call out for help. Help! Tone yells at her, shut the hell up. Shaken by the voice, she says, babe, what's wrong? What are you doing? He said, chick, don't ever call me babe. You don't even love me. You was out here sleeping with other men. That little baby ain't even mine, and I gave up everything for your little ass. Kiwi started thinking to herself, damn, she didn't get to the bridesmaid quick enough, and that bitch done told everything. Not knowing that Kiwi's carelessness put her in the situation that she's in now. Kiwi screams, what are you talking about? Tone, smack her. Play stupid if you want to. This gonna be a long night for you. Scared to death, Kiwi admitted that the baby was not Tone's. Tone was like, I already knew that. What type of dumb chick leave the results underneath the mattress? Tone kicks her again and calls her a stupid hoe. At this point, Kiwi's face is swollen and bloody. She has 2 broken ribs and can only see out of one eye. Kiwi now pleading for her life. She says, you can have everything. I'll just take the clothes on my back and the baby. Tone being mad at the fact that she thinks it's just that simple, Tone punches her again and again and again. He told Kiwi that she was not walking out this house alive. Tone began to beat Kiwi until she was breathless and stiff. After unleashing his rage on Kiwi, he ended up calling Twan and telling him he was coming to pick up the baby because Kiwi was missing him. Tone then packed a bag for the baby and himself and took all the cash from the safe. He picked up baby Tay from Twan's and hit the E-way immediately. He ended up tossing his phone and anything else that could track them on where they was going. Tone ended up stopping at a rest stop about 7 hours into driving, and he got a hotel so that him and baby Tay could rest. And as baby Tay was playing on the bed, he ended up writing a letter to Mansfield's Women Correctional Institution. The letter consisted of him telling Faye that he couldn't wait till she got out so that they could be a family. He didn't add his name or return address because Faye would know exactly who it was. The next day, he packed him and baby Tay's stuff, drove to the nearest mailbox, dropped the envelope in, got back in the car, and drove off to his next journey. He wasn't looking back or sorry for anything that happened. Sorry, not sorry. Till the next story time, guys. 513 to the moon and back.